morning, everyone, and welcome to your Saturday edition of Wasatch Weekends. We love getting to be here to inspire you to maybe try new things in your kitchen, update some technology, read some new books, and so much more. We've got a great show in store for you as we're going to be talking about the hottest technology for the summer season, as well as stepping into the kitchen to make some delicious homemade bagels in an air fryer, which I didn't even know was possible, so I'm excited to share this recipe with you. Then we're going to introduce you to a fabulous author about a book that could help you change the way you think. And then, of course, we're going to chat to the one and only Bill Humbert about maybe how you can find that new dream job or that new dream candidate for an available position. Wasatch Weekend starts right now. We're going to introduce you to a lifestyle expert who's going to walk us through the hottest technology for the summer season. Now the temperatures are rising and your technology should be as well, so let's hear what they have to say.
Well, summer is finally here, and it's time to gear up with some of that summer tech. Joining us today is, for some of that hot stuff out there in tech, some of the new things coming our way, is technology and lifestyle expert Stephanie Humphrey. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning, Kevin. How's it going?
Well, it's going great. Thank you so much for joining us in Vail, Colorado today. Now, there's a lot of things going on with summer. It's sometimes some kids' first job. It's the parents' opportunity to teach them some financial responsibility. What kind of tech do you have for the parents to do that?
Well, you know, a lot of kids are starting their summer jobs these days, and Chase is making it really, really easy to do that because it's important to provide kids with age-appropriate financial tools to help them learn how to responsibly manage your money. Chase's high school and checking accounts are great for this. These accounts are going to give them helpful tools to manage their finances more independently, and they can do it all through the Chase mobile app with features like Zelle for sending money, tracking what they've spent, and some help with budgeting. Kids won't need to download multiple apps, so that makes it easier for both them and their parents. And it's really all about empowering them to gain financial independence in a digital-first world.
What a great tool there for the parents and for the youngster, just learning that financial, that fiduciary responsibility. Now, how about for those that are looking to leverage tech in their house? What kind of suggestions do you have there?
I got you covered there as well, because one of the must-have gadgets for your smart home this summer is the Roborock Robot Cleaning Vacuum Q-Revo Pro. It has a flexi-arm design edge mopping system that ensures thorough cleaning even in those hard-to-reach areas and along the edges. And the Q-Revo Pro offers an effective full suite self-maintenance with hot water mop washing and intelligent dirt detection for automatic rewash and remop. And the Q-Revo Pro carries advanced robotic cleaning technology as well, making it more accessible to customers. And we know Prime Day is right around the corner. This is going to be a great value for that entry-level user, and it's available at Target, Amazon, and Roborock's official website.
Now, Stephanie, I see you standing next to that Weber grill. Is there grilling technology that's out this summer too?
There is some really exciting grilling technology out this summer, and this is the Searwood. It's Weber's next generation pellet grill, and it's designed to give people more confidence and control when they grill, so you can make delicious meals any time of day, whether you enjoy the authentic smoky flavor of low and slow barbecue, or you need that searing heat for the perfect steak. This grill can do it all and be ready to cook in less than 15 minutes. Now, the brain of the grill is called the Rapid Reaction react PID, and this works so that the grill actually self-adjusts as you cook. Plus, you can use the Weber Connect app to monitor and control the grill remotely. That makes it perfect for those gatherings where you want to spend time with your guests and not be so tied to the grill.
Well, it's like having your own backyard chef.
Absolutely.
Now, how about for those of us that are looking to level up this summer on some technology, all of those devices that we still have that aren't being used in our drawers, what do we do with those?
Well, it might surprise you that all of those devices in those junk drawers add up to about $43 billion worth of unused tech just sitting in our homes across the United States. And you might not know what to do with those old iPhones when you upgrade, but that's where Eco ATM comes in. Eco ATM is going to help people properly recycle their unused smartphones for cash on the spot. You can get up to $270 for an iPhone 13 Pro and some great trade-in deals for other devices from Samsung and Google and a lot more. Since 2009, though, Eco ATM has collected over 45 million devices, and that gives a second life to more than 20 million pounds of e-waste and prevents it from ending up in those landfills. And they have over 6,000 kiosks in national retailers like Walmart and Kroger, but in less than 10 minutes, you can recycle and earn cash on your used device. And if the phone ends up being a little too old and isn't eligible for cash, they will still take it off your hands and recycle it anyway. So it really is a win-win.
Wow, talk about financial responsibility. What a great way to put a few extra bucks in your pocket and be kind out there, out of the landfills. Don't fill it with that stuff. Recycle it the right way.
That's right. That's right.
Where else can we go, Stephanie, for some more information?
Well, for more tips on anything I talked about, you can just follow me on social media at TechLifeSteph.
Thank you so much again for joining us, Stephanie. Great tips, whether you're grilling, teaching your youngster to save money, or trying to recycle and be good to the environment. We appreciate all that input, guidance, and suggestions.
Thanks so much for having me, Kevin. Have a great summer.
You do as well.
We're going to introduce you to a fabulous author named Graham Lutz, who just recently released a book called The Willingness to Be Wrong, and why this is such an important mental state for you to have. So this is a great summertime read. Let's introduce you to the author now.
Now, welcome back to our show. Our next guest has so much energy and is such an interesting person, especially with all the work that he's doing around science and how to stay motivated. I've got Graham Lutz joining me today. Graham, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am so good. So you are such an interesting person. I was digging around on LinkedIn and your website, and tell me a bit about you and how did you get started?
Sure. Maybe that's
Big
a long
question,
story.
I know.
Yeah. Let's see. So I got a neuroscience degree years ago and have just always been interested in the brain and how it works and the kind of mechanisms that are going on under there that describe and make sense of how we interact with the world. I'm actually pursuing a master's right now at Harvard in psychology to answer some of those kinds of questions. So I mean, that's, from an education standpoint, that's how I got there. But it's just always been, whether I'm in school or not, my wife makes fun of me for spending Friday nights reading scientific papers that I find especially interesting.
I love the spirit of perpetual learning. Now, speaking of, you are a published author, so you're reading other people's, but then you're talking about your findings and your research. So you have a book coming out. Tell me all about that.
I do. So the book explores the willingness to be wrong and the skills of being wrong well. The idea here is that our brains evolved for this world that we don't live in now, right? The current reality that we have is as foreign to the way our brains evolved as, say, TikTok, for instance, would be to a Neanderthal. And so we have all of these neural mechanisms that were really valuable in our evolutionary past that cause us big problems today. Things like filtering out information that doesn't fit with current beliefs, and things like attributing agency to threats that, maybe in this day and age really aren't a threat to our life. It's just a dude who cut you off in traffic, right? So there's a set of skills that I have kind of put together and talk about throughout the book, both kind of from myself and from published research and scientists over the past number of decades. And I think those skills are really important for thriving in kind of our current complex world.
And so I think that this is so interesting. I love the concept of how to fail well. And I always say fail fast, because you learn from it and you learn how to adapt and to change. So love that. I cannot wait to hear all about the book as it's released next spring. But speaking of, you were also, outside of an author, you're also a public speaker, and very evident by this interview here. But tell me, you've got a TED Talk coming up. So talk to us about that.
I have it's a TEDx talk in outside of Boston on November 1st. So in fact, just this morning, I was out on a walk saying it a number of times as I walked for 30 minutes, but it's going to be on the same topic. And it's been a challenge to condense, a book's worth of ideas into about 10 minutes. But really excited to get in, to get that talk going and to get that done. Thrilled for the opportunity. I really am just so excited for the opportunity mostly.
So talk to me about the process. So you took this book and you turned it into a speech. So how do you condense it into a shorter speech and a whole book? I imagine and I envisioned, when you're writing a book report when you're a kid, you're doing the outline and then you're writing more about that. So talk to me about your process and how you do that.
Yeah. So honestly, step one, I just wrote the speech to be everything that I want to cover. And it was 90 minutes to begin with, which obviously too long. And so then I was able to, from there, pick out, okay, this is the one. If I could make 1 point, it's this one. If I could make 2 points, it's this one and this one. Right. And then started from that perspective and said, okay, if I could just do that, I wrote that and it was, say, 18 minutes. It's like, okay, so then here's a piece I can cut. Here's a piece I can cut. And then it was a process of taking these points that I make and seeing if I can do it in 4 less words here. And can I cut 10 words from this section here? And just doing that over and over. And it's been a process to get to the point where I feel like I've got 10 minutes that says everything I want to say and still makes sense.
Well, it sounds like there's a part 2 coming after you release your book. I can't wait to hear all about that. Now, talk to me about your overall purpose and your mission, especially as you have an LLC. What is your goal and what is the impact that you hope to make on people?
Thank you for the question. I love this question because ultimately the way that I am approaching all of this is with this focus on helping people understand the way their brains work so that they can overcome limiting beliefs. They can be kinder to themselves, right? They can increase motivation. They can increase consistency. Like, everybody struggles with something different, but all of our struggles come down to neurochemistry. And so if we can understand how these things work together and how they affect our lives, that is going to enable us to pinpoint activities or strategies that we need to do that are going to allow us to, reach the big goals, have the big impact, do something significant. And so I really love a quote by Howard Thurman. I probably won't say it quite right, but it's something along the lines of, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And so my mission is helping people come alive and then helping them get over whatever hurdles are going to keep them from achieving whatever that vision is.
I love that. I love the idea of helping people come alive. I think all too often we're all just kind of cycling through, you get up in the morning, you go to work, you come home, you make dinner, repeat. And I love what you're doing. I think that's such an excellent mission. Now, you have a big social media presence on TikTok. Tell us all about that and how fun the journey has been. What kind of information do you share with your followers?
Yeah, so TikTok has been interesting. It's slightly different than what we're kind of talking about here. It started a little bit by accident. I got COVID earlier this year and was sitting around without a lot to do, and stitched a video with just a little tidbit of kind of historical information. And all of a sudden, it had 25,000 views really quick, and people asking for more. And so then I did another, and I did another. And next thing I know, I've got a video out there with 5.5 million views, specifically about syphilis eating the noses off of rich people in 18th century England. So all of these little kind of tidbits, historical, interesting things, just stuff that I've collected over the years. And honestly, it's been really nice to see people who are interested in it, because most of my life has been saying those things to my kids at the dinner table and being met with eye rolls or, oh, here goes dad again.
I love that. And I think it's so fun that you're giving information that we wouldn't find in traditional history books. So thank you for sharing that on your socials, and love all of the work that you're doing. Now, Graham, where can we go for more information to follow your journey, learn about your book release, watch your TEDx talk? Tell me all of the details.
Sure. So grahamlutz.com is the website. You can sign up for a newsletter. That is where you're definitely going to get information about kind of anything upcoming. Obviously, you can find me on TikTok, and LinkedIn is another place that I am pretty active. Any of those sources, I'll be talking about my book. I'll be talking about my TED Talk, sharing it everywhere I can as soon as I have the video for it. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, Graham, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy this beautiful Thursday morning. We'll chat with you soon.
Thanks so much. See ya.
One of the favorite nonprofits here in the communities is Nuzzles & Co. because they bring you your forever friends, whether it's a goat, a cat, or an adorable puppy. They've got it all up on their ranch. So we're going to introduce you to Josh and a furry friend right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we are at the Nuzzles & Co. Rescue Ranch, joined by the one and only Josh Stazanos. Josh, thank you for greeting us up here at the beautiful ranch on a beautiful day.
It's gorgeous out here right now.
It's gorgeous. I don't think we've been here in a while. It's my first time here personally, so I'm very excited to check out the adoption and rescue ranch. You talk about it a lot, and I know a lot happens here. So I'm excited to get to know the space a little bit about it. Kind of tell us a little bit of a preview of what we'll be seeing or what we'll be talking about today.
Sure, this is the heart and soul of our whole operation.
Yes.
So we're up here kind of in Peoa. We've got a 16,000 square foot ranch. We're on 100 acres up here. So we've got lots of room for the dogs to be dogs.
Yes.
We've got several yards for them to play in. We've got some hiking trails for them to explore with volunteers and staff. We have a working vet suite on part of the ranch. We've got quarantine areas, we've got housing areas. So we'll walk around and kind of check out the various spots and see what we can see today.
Yeah, I love it. And it's only a short drive from Park City. Is the ranch open to the public? Can folks come up here and kind of check out?
Every single day of the year we're open, the same as the adoption center. So 12 to 5, people can come up here. The reality is we're here at like 9 o'clock in the morning every day because we've got to come feed the animals, take care of them, and start enriching their lives. So there's a chance if you knock on the door, we're going to be here.
All right, awesome. Well, let's go inside and check out a little bit of the rescue ranch and maybe interact with some of the pets as well.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Right this way.
All right, Josh, we are out in the large dog yard here at the ranch with a very special friend here, as well as a few other friends in the kennels. Tell me a little bit about this space and our friend here today.
So yeah, we're just, as you pull up to the ranch, you oftentimes see this yard. This is our large dog yard. So the dogs here have indoor, outdoor kennels, and the kennels open right up to this yard so they can get plenty of sunshine and outdoor time. This is Balki, B-A-L-K-I. Balky, we got a call from another rescue in Suvis is what it's called.
Okay.
And they said they had a medical case. So we think Balky was actually hit by a car.
Oh, wow.
And so he's actually going to be having hip surgery performed on him. And so we took him as a medical case.
Yeah.
We sort of don't know what it's going to look like after surgery and stuff. So we're actually sort of looking for a foster home that would kind of take him in, knowing that his condition could maybe deteriorate, even though we're giving him the best medical care we can right now.
Yeah.
That being said, somebody could also adopt him knowing like
Yeah.
he's going to have some medical conditions that he's going to suffer because things have healed in not a great way, and we're kind of having to go in and fix some of that stuff.
I did see he's kind of limping from one of the back legs. So.
Yeah, he's only 2 and he's still pretty playful and lively, but he does walk in a very unusual way, and that's because he is recovering from that car accident.
Yeah.
We don't know how long ago it was and things, so it just makes things hard. But he's got a really sweet disposition, and he's a really great dog.
Oh, he sure looks like it. And speaking about that rescue process, Josh, tell me a little bit about that and how you all rescue some of the pets that we see here and kind of bring them to the ranch.
So we work with, as you know, the Ute Reservation and the Navajo Nation, but we also work with local shelters. So we pull from like Heber and Summit County, Draper, West Valley. And so we work with the different shelter leaders and kind of we help do spay neuters for them. We pull animals that maybe we are a better fit for. So a lot of shelters don't have the ability to perform surgery the way we do and have the resources we have. So Balky is sort of a good case for us to take on.
Yeah, very cool. I know that you all also bring some of the pets down into the adoption center where we were a few months ago.
Right.
But then the majority of them end up coming back here at the end of the day, or what does that look like?
Every day we take a van from 12 to 5, or the van goes there at noon and stays there till 5, and then the animals come back. They obviously have a lot more room here to do things, so this is where they spend the night. It's just a lot smaller at the adoption center, as you remember, so there's a lot of enrichment here with the trails, the various yards we have, and the things that they can do.
Awesome.
And so they get outside, 3, 4, 5 times a day.
Yeah.
And some of these municipal shelters in big cities like New York and LA, we were working with somebody earlier this year, and he told me dogs are in those kennels for 23 hours a day.
Yeah.
And they're just small and cramped, and our dogs get to experience life as dogs out in the yard.
I mean, just look at
Balky.
He's just out here relaxing, soaking up the sun. Josh, what else do you want to show us around?
Let's go towards the cat area inside the ranch.
Let's go back in.
Let's do it. What's up, Coop?
All right, Josh, I know we said we were going to go inside into the cat area, but before we do, we thought it would be important to share Cooper's story, who is here today. So tell me a little bit about him and his story.
Sure. So we're in a yard next to the yard we were just at. Okay. So showing off that we have 4 different yards here for our dogs to explore. Cooper here. Come here, bud. Hi, bud.
Hi, Cooper.
Oh, hey.
Hi, buddy.
So in our adoption contracts, we always have a clause that says if for any reason somebody can't take care of an animal, please return it to Nuzzles. Don't try to sell it on KSL or any of those other alternatives. Don't clog up another shelter. And with Cooper's story, he was adopted from us as a puppy and just got returned to us today. And it's a sad story. His owner, who's just a young man at 42, passed away. So I don't know the circumstances of that. I just know that he just barely arrived again today. Yeah. And he's lived in a home his whole life, and he's a great dog and knows all the commands, and he's just ready to, he's going through a little transition period, and he's gonna make somebody a really great dog.
Oh, yes. Josh, now we're in the cat space. I saw at the doors, is it called the cat gallery?
It is the cat gallery.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about that and the process for when cats arrive. We were talking a little bit about the quarantine process that happens upstairs, and then they kind of transition into the space.
So we're at the back of the ranch, and when cats come to us, they end up upstairs. There's a whole level up here that's kitty quarantine, and we do a mandatory 2-week quarantine on kittens just to make sure we're covering our bases on not bringing any spreadable diseases in here. Yeah. That gives us time for the vet team to kind of look at them, give them a medical assessment, any treatment that might be necessary. And if they're really small and they're just maybe we found small kittens. They might go to a foster home where they're being taken care of until they're big enough to come back.
Okay.
And then they make their way down to this room. And then from this room, our cat manager kind of works with Petco in Sugar House, Petco up here in Park City, Pet Supplies Plus in Lehigh. And then we have our adoption center, and cats go to all those different areas and get adopted from all those places. So we're actually doing really well right now.
Yeah, all that.
I don't have any
Everything
cats
is
to show
empty.
you here because our transition cats have all gone out to the retailers,
awesome.
and I actually think we're pretty empty at both locations, both of the Petcos and our adoption center right now. But I do know we have quite a few cats that are like waiting to come from upstairs to downstairs and then make their journey to all those places and into your homes.
Yeah.
Come here. Hi, Mama.
Josh, I think this is what I was most excited about, the farm animals, and it looks like, is this a family of goats, or is this
So we got
just
Mama.
independent? Okay.
This is one of her daughters that's
my gosh.
older, and then she
Yes.
recently had these two boys.
The two little baby goats.
And so they've been running around the ranch, just having a blast.
Yes.
They're at that lovely age where they like to do headbutts and air kicks and run around, and they're very curious about things.
Yes, so the farm animal program is also, folks can adopt farm animals as well, is that right?
Yeah, when we have animals come to us the various ways, oftentimes somebody has adopted an animal and thought like a potbelly pig is going to make a great animal for the backyard, and then when it's 600 pounds, they go, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm in for.
Not so much. Yeah.
That's how they end up here. The two older goats. Oh wow.
They are climbing on each other.
The two older goats actually are the goats of our cat manager, and when Mama was pregnant, she brought her here, and she gave birth to the babies here, so we could kind of keep a close eye on them and give them medical care. And the babies have been here the whole time, and they've actually been pre-adopted because they're so cute. And anytime we have goats, they go pretty fast.
Yeah.
He's gonna be wiggly. Just hold him like you would a dog. So
His paw is like stuck on
so
my...
sorry.
No, you're good.
So yeah, give him kind of a there you go.
There you go.
If you wanted to hold a goat, if you didn't, I apologize
No,
for
I
just
do.
throwing a goat in your lap. Hi, Kev. So we have
Kevin and Amy.
Kevin and Amy.
Okay.
I think in both cases, these guys came from West Jordan, and they were people who just thought it would be fun to have a little potbelly pig in the backyard. They grew up and didn't fit into the scheme of things anymore. So these guys have been here for a little while. I just discovered that they're big fans of marshmallows.
Oh,
Kevin.
yes. Come on, Kevin.
Hey, bud.
Maybe I'll try with Amy. Amy, you want a marshmallow, girl?
Oh,
she
yeah.
goes, yeah. Who would have known pigs like marshmallows?
I actually saw a video recently of a little girl train a pig how to sit using marshmallows. So pigs are really social. They have a lot of similar things to dogs and a lot of qualities like humans actually. So I think they're really interesting. I think they definitely bring some liveliness to the ranch, and I think it's great to have them. We've had some really social pigs in the past that thought they were dogs. And they did get adopted out. I'm pretty sure our director of operations just made an exchange with somebody in Heber we're going to be trading some dogs for the pigs, and these guys are going to go to a bigger farm area.
Gotcha.
Here, Kev.
Come on, Kevin.
What do you think,
A
bud?
marshmallow.
Oh, there it is.
A little nice treat.
And Amy's coming back for more.
Amy, round them up.
Yeah, pigs are fun.
Yeah.
They're good.
Oh my gosh, yeah. What an awesome experience, Josh. Thank you so much for showing us around the ranch.
Of course.
If anybody wants to learn more about everything that happens here or how to adopt, where can they do so?
Website is nuzzlesandco.org, and that's A-N-D spelled out, not the ampersand.
Okay.
And there's loads of information. You can pick the animals that you're interested in. You can click on the volunteer experience, the foster experience, all that stuff is there. And if you have questions, you can always email me. I'm just josh@nuzzlesandco.org.
Alrighty, well, we'll send it off from here. We'll keep playing with the pigs, and thank you once again.
Of course.
We're going to take a short break, everyone, and we'll be back with more of the show. So stay tuned as we continue enjoying the Nuzzles Rescue Ranch.
Looking right into the camera, Max.
that the possibilities when cooking with an air fryer are literally endless. I didn't know that you could make homemade bagels in an air fryer, but we're gonna step into the kitchen and Kim is gonna show us how. So let's see what she's cooking.
You know, it is a morning, which means we're having coffees and bagels. Yeah. Just kidding, we're gonna make the bagels here in the kitchen.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a good one. I love a good bagel, but you know, I always don't love how like heavy it is. Yeah. So I always look for like healthier alternatives to things. Yeah. So I'm gonna show you how to make the easiest 2 ingredient, well, technically 3 if you count the salt, but a 3 ingredient bagel.
Awesome.
Yeah, so are you a big bagel guy?
Yeah, I love the versatility of bagels.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
What do you like to put on it? What's your favorite topping?
Usually like cream cheese or like make a sandwich out of a bagel, like a bagel sandwich, a nice bacon, egg, and cheese or something.
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah,
So
just
good.
The versatility of a bagel.
Same. I love it too. My mom grew up in New York, and so I've grown up on New York style bagels. Nice. But this is a quick option that's really delicious. But it's really great. So you make it in the air fryer, and we actually have one on the way right now, so I can't wait to show our audience what that looks like. But we've got Greek yogurt, so it's very protein packed, and that's going to be the binding ingredient, and then self-rising flour. So easy. 2 ingredients, very simple. But if you didn't have the self-rising flour, you can just do regular flour and baking powder. So cool. Yeah, pretty easy, right? Yeah. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna go ahead and do 1 cup of Greek yogurt and 1 cup of flour. We pre-measured the flour out so that we don't have to spill it all over the kitchen. But Ross, I'll let you go ahead and fill up this measuring cup with the Greek yogurt.
Do I just use the spoon?
Just use the spoon and just make sure that it's even, because you have to make sure that these ingredients are equally measured. So, you know, no pressure. We're just hanging out watching Ross put the Greek yogurt into our measuring cup, and this is 1 cup. This makes 4 bagels, which is great. And so it sounds like we've got a bagel that's finished there in the oven, in the air fryer, I guess I should call it. It's a really great little air fryer. This is a mini air fryer. It probably would make about 2 bagels at once, but I'll go ahead and show you what it's gonna look like. Now you can make these more round, toasty, nice and hot. You can make it more round, but we just went ahead and did a little bit of a hole in the middle, and it's really just kind of like a bagel without the hole in it. You know,
even better.
So
More bagel.
More bagel. It looks great. So we're going to keep it nice and toasty while we're in here, but we'll show everybody how to make the dough. So looks great, Ross. If you want to, actually, we'll start with the dry ingredient, and then we'll add the wet ingredient into it. So this is 1 cup of self-rising flour, already measured out, just to save us the hassle of having to clean up flour in the kitchen. That's my only qualm with baking, is flour getting everywhere, you know. So I just usually grab a brownie mix if I can at home, instead of having to measure out all the different powders that happen in the kitchen, all the baking powders. All right, great. So we've got our flour in here. We're just going to make a nice little hole here, and then I'm going to scoop it in, and
that's exactly 1 cup.
It's exactly 1 cup.
1 cup.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see it's very easy. I don't know, it's a fun one. This is a great thing. You can make like a big batch at home and put a bunch in the freezer, and you know, you've got bagels and protein for days.
Love that. And if you want to do more, you just double.
You just double it, yeah, double, triple, whatever you want to do. I'm gonna let you go ahead and do the stirring there. So you just, nice and easy, you just kind of fold the wet or the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. So it just takes your time, and it'll eventually get very sticky, and that's what we want in order to make these bagels. So you're doing a great job. How's it feel?
It feels great.
You're mixing it really well, and you just kind of, you can scrape the spatula on the edge of the bowl if you need to kind of get the dough off the side of it there. Yeah, just like that. You know, and if you ever want to give me the stirring back, I got this. I think you're crushing it.
Got this.
But this is just a really fun and quick and easy breakfast option. And then if you like a bagel, like you mentioned, as a sandwich, you've got great things at home to make a sandwich. I love to put cream cheese and smoked salmon. Oh, that's my favorite. Yeah. And to me, that's a breakfast, lunch, and dinner snack time meal. Oh yeah, for sure. You know, do you have a favorite kind of cream cheese?
There's different kinds.
There is, I like to infuse my cream cheeses. So I do a lot of like chives and garlic and herb added into mine. You can buy it at the store, but I like to put a little extra touch in.
Jalapenos? Do they do a jalapeno
They
cream
do.
cheese? Love that.
And if they don't, we can do it too.
I like that.
It's that easy.
I like that.
That's that easy. It's looking great. So yeah.
It's getting there.
It is getting there. So I'm gonna give you a different task.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Time to eat the bagel.
Time to eat the bagel. But actually, we're going to do an egg wash on this one and we'll make them an everything bagel.
Okay, awesome.
So if you wouldn't mind just cracking this egg into there,
Perfect.
into this little container, and then you're just going to whisk it up, and then I'll show you a really fun trick afterwards. So while you do that, I'm going to continue folding in this dough. You can see that there. It's just getting stickier, a little bit harder to mix, which is good because that's what we want. Well, that's the consistency that we want.
We're gonna whisk this guy up.
Just whisk it up, and what we're gonna do with the egg afterwards. And I guess this is an added ingredient because we're making them everything bagels. But this will make the everything but the bagel seasoning stick to it. Yeah, looking great. So we're just doing that. Mixing it up, the dough is getting a little bit harder to get that flour to stay in there, and that's perfect because that's exactly what we want. It's looking great, looking like dough. Can you believe it? Just 2 ingredients,
That's it.
and here we are.
Easy.
It would be 3 if we were using regular flour, because then we'd have to use baking powder. But either way, our dough is looking awesome.
And then if you don't have an air fryer, can you just throw this in an oven?
Throw it in the oven.
Easy.
Yeah, really easy. You can put the oven at 400 degrees, bake it for 15 minutes or so.
Nice.
You want to make sure the inside is crispy, but the good news is if it's not, there's no egg in this.
Yeah.
Not saying you should eat it, but it's really simple to continue to make that. All right, great. So we've got our dough. It's looking good, and it's okay if not everything is there. So the next fun piece of this is we've got our flour, and we're about to make a little bit of a mess in here. I'm going to show you what we're doing next. We can just throw that down.
Do you know what kind of bagels fly?
Yes, a plain bagel.
You got it. You got it. I saw those wheels turning in that head. Yep,
I
a
had
plain
to think
bagel.
about it. So I love dad jokes.
Yeah.
I looked up a dad joke yesterday, and that was the one that I looked up.
Oh, no way. Nice.
Not intentional for today, but here we go. We're just going to throw some flour down on our, because even though they're a little bit sticky, we just want to make sure that it doesn't stick to the surface here.
Right.
And then this is going to be the fun part where we get to be creative. We take the dough, dump it onto our surface. There it is. You're welcome to get in here, or I'll just
I think
do it.
you're crushing
I think I'll
this.
just do it. We roll it into a bowl, or a ball, just like that. And, it's not going to stick to our surface, which is great because we have the flour down. So you can roll it into a ball just like that, and then you can do this. And if you want to make it a bagel shape, it will puff up and rise while you're cooking it.
Okay.
That's not my best bagel shape there, but
it's beautiful.
We'll just
It's
make it
beautiful.
look pretty. So that's how we do our first bagel.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do, and actually you can grab that spoon right there in the Greek yogurt. It's okay that it's got a little bit of Greek yogurt on it. We'll take this knife here, just scrape some of that off, just like that. And then what we're going to do is just take a little bit of this egg wash. And if you had a paper towel, you can sometimes use that to spread it around. But I'm just getting down and dirty on this wonderful Tuesday morning. And just do a little bit of that. Spread it around, and then Ross, here's what you can do. You ready for this?
Ready.
You can sprinkle the everything but the bagel seasoning on the top of that.
Love it.
Just like that. I'm gonna continue to roll this next set right here. We're just gonna roll it in, make it into a ball. Now if it gets a little bit sticky, that's okay. You just kind of add more flour into it. Looking great. Looking great.
Love it.
Awesome. So, and we can show what it would look like when it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing a,
Gonna do a heart
Something.
shape. Gonna do a Valentine's Day heart shape bagel. here.
the dough is not quite as malleable as a traditional dough, but we can try. For all those lovers out there.
That's it.
Right? There's one more, and then if you wanted to.
I got it.
All right. We're doing good. Yeah, this is just how it turns out. Pretty easy. Looking great. I'll rub my fingers on it since I don't want to.
I like to.
Don't want to dirty your
I'm
hands.
a little weirdo that likes to keep his hands clean.
Awesome. These are things that I like to do on the weekends if I'm not out on the hill, which
It probably tastes so much better than one out of a bag, right?
it does. It really does.
Yeah,
It's actually
a little
nice and
fresh.
light and fluffy. It's not as dense as a traditional
Yeah.
bagel, and it's just great. And they're mini guys, so you're not super stuffed when you're finished eating them.
So you can have 4 or 5 and feel good about yourself.
It's true, exactly. All right, well, our bagels are looking good, minus this last one. There we go. So it makes about 4. You know, if I had evenly distributed the dough a little bit better, you know, we can make them more aesthetically pleasing. But they are pretty darn delicious. I cannot wait to show the audience what these will look like. But then you pop them in the air fryer at about 300 and you let them bake for about, I don't know, anywhere from like 10 to 12 minutes. And then you've got a perfect mini bagel. So it's going to be quite delicious. We'll show them off later in the show. But this is how you get started and you get to rock and roll with them.
Easy.
So I am so excited. These bagels look great. They look more like a homemade biscuit because they are just risen. They look delicious, as you can see, with the egg wash nice and golden on the tops. And then we've got one that were popped here in the delicious toaster. So I'm going to try this and enjoy my breakfast. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Welcome back to the show. Now, we love having the opportunity to chat with recruiter guy Bill Humbert because he always has excellent tips, tricks, and statistics on things that you could be doing within your business. And one of which is, why is hiring manager training so important as you're bringing people on to your staff? Let's hear what he has to say. A lot of companies don't know that they're making mistakes as they're going through the hiring process. Well, we've got the recruiter guy, the expert in the area, Bill Humbert, joining me. Bill, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me this morning.
Oh, Maddie, it's such a pleasure. I appreciate you having me on your show.
Oh, we love having you here because I feel like I get to talk to you and then everyone gets to listen to what you have to say. And I learn so much from these conversations. So the wisdom that you're spreading upon the world is wonderful.
Super, thank you.
Of course. Now, we're going to talk about why hiring manager training is so important. So why is this training so important?
You know, over my 40 plus years as a talent attraction consultant, what I've discovered is very few managers have received formal interview training to learn how to effectively interview.
Now, as they're interviewing, why is it important for them to know how to correctly conduct an interview?
Well, first of all, think about this. If you haven't been taught how to effectively interview, you certainly haven't been taught how to select the best qualified candidate. And secondly, sometimes managers have no clue what questions are illegal and which ones are legal. For instance, I had a manager who had newly moved from another country interview a woman candidate. This was some time ago. And the woman, when I extended an offer to her, told me some of the questions he asked. And essentially, he went down the litany, step by step by step. Are you pregnant? Are you planning on getting pregnant? How are you going to take care of the kid? I mean, he asked all the wrong questions. And I went to him and I said, you know, all these questions that you asked, you cannot ask them in the United States. And he said, well, in my country, we're supposed to ask them. So, you know, it's really important that companies step up and have their managers learn how to effectively interview.
And what's something that's really important for managers to remember as they're going through the interviewing process?
You know, Maddie, what I've seen is some managers understand that building that relationship with the candidate, whether they end up hiring them or not, is very important. I had one manager say, or one candidate called, when I called them for their offer, I didn't know she liked me. I just went, oh my gosh. So it's important that they build a relationship, a positive relationship with the candidate, and that helps the candidate decide if they want to work with them.
Which is really important because this is a career, so you're making the move to take the job. You want to make sure that you like who you're working for, or else you're not going to even like showing up to work. Now, what are some great tips and tricks that people can find on your website as they're building their interviewing questions to find the best candidate?
Well, there are 8 different ways that I can structure interview questions. And, you know, most candidates today are aware of how to respond to behavioral questions. So it's really important to mix and match and put in the questions that kind of gets them off step, off comfort, and makes them think a little bit more, and you'll get better answers that way.
Now, these are great resources that are found on your website where people can see these 8 fantastic prompts, guidelines, steps to really make sure that they're doing the best interview.
That's correct. RecruiterGuide.com, that's where they'll find them.
And now, how should a manager end an interview?
Maddie, this is very important. If the manager loves this person, and let's say the person networked their way in through somebody the manager trusts, making an offer that day is so important because good candidates have a very short shelf life. And if you wait a week, you're probably going to lose them. And I'm speaking from 40 plus years of recruiting experience. I've seen it happen so many times, and it made me cry because, well, back in the early days, I got a fee for each person who started. So it's important that the manager, if they really like that person, they get that offer out as soon as possible.
Now, if a company is worried about how their manager is conducting an interview, what's a good resource for them to get in contact with you so maybe they can go through a training session with you?
The best way is just go to recruiterguide.com, and on my home page above the fold, there's a red banner and it says Speak with Bill. Click on that, put yourself on my calendar at your convenience.
And companies can use you as a resource to help train their managers, and then maybe people can use you as a resource to help find that perfect job.
Oh, absolutely. Some people call me the candidate whisperer since I've worked with so many candidates over the years.
Bill, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all this great information, and thanks for sharing your wisdom. It's important that people know how they can best hire the best candidate.
Thank you, Maddie. It's been great.
Make sure that if you're a company who's maybe struggling to find that perfect candidate, that you have your hiring managers go through this training. That way they have the best knowledge possible as they're about to bring on your new team members. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for tuning into your Saturday edition of Wasatch Weekends. We've hoped that we've inspired you to maybe pick up a new summer read on how you should train your hiring managers with expert Bill Humbert, some new technology that you want to bring home for the summer season, and of course, a delicious recipe to cook in the kitchen. I've been your host, Maddie Evans, and make sure that you tune in tomorrow for your Sunday edition of Wasatch Weekends.